Welcome. So, what is a good way to get yourself into a state of love and gratitude? Gratitude opens up that reception of love and it grounds us in communion with the Lord. Gratitude is a very magnetizing state when it comes to attracting good things into one's life, but it's not always easy to be grateful. And so here's some tips in order to help oneself get into a place of gratitude and love. What happens a lot of time is that the distractions take up the brain space in our minds, where we're literally focusing on external phenomena, news, just things that are happening in the world, instead of what really matters. And there's just so much information now that unless we're really tuned in and take control of our mind, we will be bombarded with things that don't really have much consequence in our lives. So number one has to get away. You have to get and make for yourself a place of meditation. If you don't already have a place of meditation, it's really important to make one. Have a place that you go to specifically for contemplation, prayer, journaling, without any other distractions. You don't want a temptation to turn on a TV or a laptop or phone. You don't want any of that around you. It needs to be comfortable and needs to be lit enough so you can read, so you can write, but not too stimulating. And it should preferably be away from distractions. If you can make it a habit of getting into this quiet space regularly and writing out statements of gratitude, I've found that this helps tremendously. Through getting yourself into a state of gratitude, you will also be able to receive and give love easier than if you're not in gratitude. It's really gratitude that grounds us in God and opens up that reception. It's much more difficult to get yourself to a place of gratitude if your mind is occupied by things. And with the amount of distractions out there now, it's not that hard to become distracted. When you first get into your quiet space, if you close your eyes and just work on getting close to God, that can be helpful. Being grateful for your prayers being answered can also be very helpful. In essence, you're moving to the end of your prayer. You're thanking God for your prayer being answered before it even happens. And you can be very specific with this. But the key is to start the ball rolling and having thoughts of gratitude early in the day, preferably. But if you find yourself distracted, you can always go back to your place of meditation and reset. And if you have the capability, sometimes people will even take little short naps, 15-minute, 45-minute naps, to reset the consciousness. Again, we live in a time where there are so many peripheral distractions. These could be phone calls, they could be emails, they could be social media, internet in general. Resetting the mind and starting from a place each day of gratitude is really the opening of the reception of love, but also the capacity to give love each day. Being still can also be a great starting place. If you're unable to even think of things to be grateful for, just being still and letting the mind reset, closing the eyes, and asking for the presence of the Lord. Just wanting to be close to God is a valiant intent. Listing out on a page the things you're grateful for can be very powerful. And it's a good exercise to reset your mind in a place of gratitude. The more thoughts that you have going through your mind of gratitude, the better. You're literally opening up the reception of love. Love and gratitude go together, and if you don't have gratitude, you can't really love. There are a few different states of mind that are really magnificent when it comes to accelerating your life. And I'll say gratitude and love and faith are probably the top ones. But also joy, kindness, being happy in the moment. Some people will say the affirmation, I am so happy and grateful now that this, and this have occurred or are occurring. And you can really just go off on that. You can list so many things going on. And it puts you on this rant, right? Where you just go off. And there's another practice of listing 10 things you're grateful for every day. And I'm sure you've heard of this before. And this is a great starting place each morning. You're literally opening up the reception of love. And with love comes every other good thing. If you can't receive love, then it's like it says in 1 Corinthians 13, you're really like a clanging cymbal. You don't have anything of true value unless you have love with it. So with this in mind, one, if they are mindful, if they're intelligent, should make it a conscious effort each morning and throughout the day to return to love. Without love, the binding force that keeps everything together will break apart. If you're running a company or you're in a company that values cohesion between the employees, between the workers, between the leaders, then love is a necessary ingredient. It's like the butter in the water that makes everything stick together in the whole place. And the best places to work are those that have that ingredient. Without love and without gratitude, everything falls apart. It truly is a binding force, and it's not talked about enough. One should be mindful, just because there's love, just because there's gratitude, doesn't mean you can't speak the truth. As one is in gratitude and love, they can handle the truth because they're grounded in love. They're grounded in the peace that gratitude and love brings. This practice of writing gratitude statements and tuning in to gratitude and love each morning and throughout the day and even at night can be very magnetizing for health, wealth, love itself, great relationships, prosperity, acceleration, growth, joy. Think about it. If you're in gratitude and love, you can have that spontaneity where you just spring into a state of joy or happiness or laughter. But if you're not grounded in gratitude and love, there's maybe something in the way. Maybe there's an obstacle to get over mentally before you can get to a state of love. So one should tune into this energy, this vibration, really for everything. It's also easier to stay connected to what the Lord's telling you. When you're tapped into gratitude and love, you're tuned into the abundant intelligence of the universe. You're tuned into that of angels, of God, of the Holy Spirit. You can listen better. The fine elements that you're perceiving are much more perceptible. Whereas if you're not tuned into gratitude and love, there can be static. There can be confusion. You may get caught in your intellect trying to figure things out again. So this practice of being in gratitude and love is really the key of everything. And if you fail to do it, you will reap the results of being out of it. So y'all, that's pretty much it. This video is here to remind you of these things, and by getting going with these practices, you will see great results. And results speak for themselves. All the greats practice this. And so feel free to list your comments below. I appreciate you as always. Thank you for tuning in.